Verily, with hardship comes ease. Indeed, Allah is with the patient. But what does patience even mean in Islam? And more importantly, what does it even look like on you? Okay, hello and welcome. If you're looking at the title of this video and you've been a subscriber for a long time, you will recognize that title. That title being a reminder to myself first and then others. This was a podcast, like a mini little tech podcast I created for myself, and I gave up on it like a year ago, but I thought, you know what, let me bring it back because I have so much to talk about clearly. So why not bring it back bit by bit, episode by bit? At first I was so confused because I tried recording this yesterday. I'm gonna be honest. I tried recording this yesterday and I tried making it like formal and kind of cut and edited in a way that it was it was obvious that I'm reading off of a script, not very flowy, but like in a script way, like in a proper, like, you know what I'm trying to say, that kind of way, you know what I mean. But then I looked back and I was like, I don't know if that's the kind of vibe. I don't know if that's what I want to go for. I don't know if that's what I want to give off, because it was giving very edited, it was giving very scripted, and it was giving kind of like, oh, it's a bit too serious. And you know, I can be very soppy and I can be very serious, but at the same time I like the way that I talk when I talk awkwardly, and I think you guys like it too. So I'm gonna put this up here and hopefully you guys are going to be able to hear me. But yes, welcome back to the first episode of this podcast. We're gonna ignore the previous episodes and we're gonna rerun this shit. We're going to rerun the show. So for today's episode, I thought it would be really nice to talk about patience and what patience looks like in Islam. But not even what it looks like in Islam. What does it look like for you? Listen, there are going to be so many tests and difficulties that you are going to go through in your life. Like, so many. I cannot even name how many a human can go through in a single span of their life. In a single span of their lifetime. Yeah, you're probably listening to this right now and going through the hardest shit of your life and thinking this is the biggest test I've ever got in my life, and oh my god, I'm never gonna get through, and oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to do it, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is it. I can't fight it anymore. I can't be patient anymore. I don't know what to do. Or you might have just gone through a test and you're sitting in your ease right now, chilling, being like, yeah, you know, well, I did what I had to do and it was calm. You know what I mean? Life is a breeze, easy breezy. You know what I mean? Midnight sun vibes. You could be going through the worst shit of your life, and the number one thing that people are going to say is your mum, your dad, your friends, your family, random strangers in your TikTok DMs, your Instagram, any YouTube video you watch, any podcast you listen to, even if you flip and listen to the podcast bros, any TikTok on your For You page, everybody, every book, everything. The main thing, the number one thing that you are told as a Muslim, no matter where you are, how old you are, what you're doing, who you are, yeah, is be patient. Patience is such a foundation of what it is to be a Muslim, and I don't think that it is discussed enough, especially in the younger community, as to what it should look like on normal people. Like, what does patience look like on normal everyday human beings, on weak human beings, because we are all weak. If we actually think about it, we are all weak. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. Nobody's, even if they think that they're better than you, that person is also weak. At the end of the day, God created us in a way, in a specific way, unique way, for a reason. The number one thing people are going to tell you, be patient, be patient. The amount of times throughout the last 2-3 years, every time I would go online and try and seek advice, every time I would try and do anything, yeah, the main thing that I would hear is be patient, be patient, be patient, it's just a dunya, be patient, it's just this, be patient, just wait, be patient, be patient, be patient. And I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like I was going insane. I felt like I was, not being patient enough. I felt like I was such a horrible Muslim because I didn't know how to be patient correctly. But what the hell does it even mean to be patient, to do the act of patience right, to do it in a way that is right or correct or morally okay, you know what I mean, or Islamically correct? And of course there are guidelines and things that you should do, you know what I mean, but I just wanted to talk about that because I, you know what I mean, have gone through a lot of things in my lifetime, but in the last, I would say, year and a half, so since 2022, it has been a rough patch up until now. What are we in, 2025? Right? We're in 2025, yeah. So since 2022, I have been going through shit. And I would say now that specific hardship that I was going through probably like kind of ended and like relaxed a little bit maybe like 2 months ago. It's a long story and I could ramble for years. Honestly, I could ramble and talk about it for years, and I'm going to right now. So I'm going to tell you a little story, yeah, and it's about this girl. And basically in 2022 up until 2024, no, up until 2025, she went through, I'd say, probably the longest hardship she's gone through. Now, bearing in mind, she's only 21. She's only 21, so let's not, she went through, she is me, I am her, me is I. You know what I'm saying? So basically, from 2022 to 2024, I went through so many phases of my life. So many rough patches, so many depressive episodes, so many anxiety attacks, so much isolation, so much horribleness. So it was such a hard test and such a hard struggle, and it was so painful. And trust me, I went through it all. I read the Quran, I read books, I watched YouTube videos, I watched podcasts, I fixed my For You page so that it was all Islamic content. I only followed Islamic stuff on Instagram. I would watch YouTube videos. You know, those YouTube videos is like, if you're seeing this now, then Allah wanted you to see it, or like how to do istighfar properly and stuff like that. So let me backtrack a little. Yeah, in 2022, I had just finished sixth form, and I was about to go to university. Now we were back in our homeland, which it's already coming back to me. I don't even want to talk about that. Basically, I sat down with my parents and I went up to them and I was like, guys, I'm not really sure if I'm confident enough to go to university. Like, I'm not really sure that's what I want to do. Like, I don't think I know what I want in this life. Like, I don't think I know what I'm ready for. I don't know if I want to keep studying, and I don't even know if the path that I'm going down is the exact same thing that I want to study. Okay, at that time, my mind was set on law, but there was something about it that I was just like, I don't think this is for me. I don't think I like this. I don't think I want to do this or pursue this, right? And of course, my family being my family, the most unsupportive, unreasonable, like unhelpful human beings on planet Earth, I could literally get more help from a domesticated fox in the forest than I could from my own family members. So they were just like, they just brushed off and they were like, just go, like, you know what I mean, everybody goes, your older sister went, like, it's normal, that's what people do. You finish high school, you go to college, you finish college or sixth form, you go to uni, you finish uni, you get a master's, or you just go straight into like the job market. That's normal, that's reality, that's normal life, you know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, fine, like I'll do it. Like, fast forward, come back, September comes around the corner and we go in straight into uni. And when I tell you those 2 years were the worst 2 years of my life, when I tell you those were the most horrible, painful, excruciating, like I felt like I needed an exorcism after that experience. I wouldn't wish that experience on my worst enemy. Not that I have any enemies, because I don't know anybody. Well, I wouldn't wish it on my dad. I had the worst friendship breakup of my life. I lost all of my friends. And you know, people who are like, oh, like, always a friendship breakup, like they don't even have friendship breakups hurt more than relationship breakups. I couldn't give a shit less if I broke up with a boy. Friendship breakups hurt like shit because you don't expect that same level of breakup. Like, you expect it from a boy, you don't expect it from a friend. You know what I mean? You expect it from a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or from a friend. That shit cut deep. It scarred me for life, bro. I feel like when I talk about it, I sometimes feel like I sometimes I feel like when I talk about it or bring it up, like if I ever bring it up, I feel like, you know, when people make fun of those like boys who like those TikToks that will yeah, so you saw that, you know, those TikToks that will come up where girls are making fun of guys who like got their heart broken once when they were 12 and they've never been the same since, and women will go through the worst shit of their life and still be okay. Sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes that's what I feel like. I feel like a guy whose parents got divorced when he was like 5 and hasn't felt the same since, or who got his heart broken when they were in year 6 and still has been the worst love of their life and worst relationship and trauma of their life. Like, sometimes that's what I feel like when I talk about it and I bring it up, even though it's not the same. I I would like to say it is not the same. Okay, I can laugh about it now. We can laugh because it's funny, but back then it was not funny. Listen, I was crying on my way home. I was crying on the bus publicly. My heart was literally broken. Basically, I knew that friendships don't last, but even knowing that, it didn't mean that it didn't hurt less. You know what I mean? So my heart was broken. I was trying to fit in. I tried so many different societies. I tried so many different clubs. I tried to make university work. Fast forward, it didn't work for me. I was literally the most depressed I have ever been was during those 2 years of my life, right? And just before second year finished, I dropped out. I said, God, I need a sign. I need a sign. I think my sign was me begging for a sign. I think that was the sign. So I dropped out. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's not for me. I'll drop out and I'll leave it up to God, and He'll give me whatever is meant for me later. Like, I don't care. I'll just get a job. I'll just get a job and I'll figure it out from there. But right now, I need a break. I need a mental health break. Now, let me tell you, that mental health break lasted for a year and a half. Right? Basically a year. It lasted a year, but it was the longest year of my life. So I dropped out just before exams, the end of year exams. I was going through it. I was going through it. Procrastination, humiliation, depression, anxiety, annihilation. Like literally, I felt like I wasn't here. Hallucination. All the 5 stages of grief. Because at first I was like, oh, you know what? This is easy. Like, I trust God. I believe in God. It's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? I trust Him. It's gonna be okay. Like, we've done this all before. Like, I know what to do. Like, it's okay. Like, I know all the right steps to do. Read the Hajjat, pray, make dua, and just beg on your knees and do everything right? Become the best version of yourself so you can get an answer quicker. I knew what it was like to be patient. Fast forward 2 months later, 3 months later, 6 months later, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I can take this anymore. I am literally going insane. Fifi, if you drop the camera, I swear to God, I will beat you up. Fifi, go away. Go away. Go away. What is your problem? What is your problem? Do you actually want to fight? Do you actually want to fight? Because we can fight right now, outside, right now. No, you can't sit here. You can't sit here, man. You can't sit here. Fifi. Basically, I had to have the biggest test of patience after I dropped out of university, because I had to fully trust God and believe in Him that He would find a path for me and He would give it to me and He would find a way out for me and He would provide it to me. Fast forward to now, looking back, I can say I did not have the best patience. However, I got the 2 things that I wanted. Alhamdulillah. I went back to university and I figured out a path for me. Bearing in mind, we know it's never going to be permanent, right? We don't know what's permanent in this life. I could change my mind again 6 months down the line. In the beginning, I went through the 5 stages of grief because I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What am I doing that is wrong? Because 5 months, weeks and days went by, and I was so confused and like so frustrated because I was like, I'm being patient. I'm doing all the right things that I'm supposed to do. I'm doing all the things that I'm being told to do. Why is it not working? I started reading the Hajjat. I started reading Istikhara. Yeah, wasn't getting my dua answered. Was getting frustrated. And then I started doing istighfar because I learned about istighfar, and I was like, oh my God, maybe that's it. I haven't been doing istighfar this whole time. Let me start doing istighfar. There wasn't a day that went by that I didn't do istighfar, at least minimum 500 to 1k a day. Minimum, okay? I was going crazy levels of istighfar, you know what I mean? I was going through it. Then I watched a video and some guy was like, oh, you have to do istighfar without wanting something from it, because it's not a give or take situation. It's not, oh, I give this to you and you take this from me only because you've given me this, you know what I mean? That's not how it works. I'm not transactional with your Lord. That's not how it works. So then I was like, okay, let me change my mindset, read a couple of books, and I just like tried to fix my mental health and my inner being, you know what I mean? And I would like to say I did turn into a Zen person, but I also did crash out as well. When I told you I would wake up and I would feel nothing, like numb, I would go to the toilet, brush my teeth, go downstairs, and my dad would leave for work, or he would go pick up the kids or something, and because I was waking up at like 12 p.m., you know what I mean, 1 p.m., Fifi, don't move. I would just, as soon as he closed the door, I would burst out crying in the middle of the kitchen, in the middle of the living room, whilst doing wuzu in the toilet, whilst before going to bed, whilst I'm watching an insanely funny TikTok, I would just start crying. If I was cleaning my room, I would start crying. When I was doing my makeup, I would start crying. Like random moments, if I'm suddenly looking at my hand and itching, I would start crying. Like if I was putting shoes on before going out, I would start crying. I started doing zikr walks every day throughout that summer. Summer was like 3 months long, and every day since I dropped out that whole summer, zikr walks every day. Zikr walks every day. I would go out to my local park and go there, and I would go on a zikr walk, and I would do laps around this huge park. Yeah, and I would do istighfar. I would do zikr, and I started talking to God. Those walks turned into me crying in the park by myself, getting frustrated, getting angry at the world, getting angry at God, getting angry at myself. It came to a point where eventually I broke and I broke down. I stopped, like, I just gave up. Like, I gave up, and mentally and physically, I wasn't myself anymore. You could see it in my eyes. I feel like I can upload some pictures of that time and you can see what my face looked like in comparison to now. Like, it was really bad, and you could tell I needed help, right? But obviously I didn't have the facilities or anybody to help me. I'm like, I've been so patient. It's been a year now. I've been so patient. I've been trying to do everything right. Every time I sin, I've been doing istighfar. I've been trying to get up and be a better person. I've been trying to read Quran. I've been trying to implement Islam more in my life. I'm trying my best to not give up, to not hate myself, to not hate God, to not hate my life, and to not literally kill myself. Yeah, I've been trying so hard to not do that, and what ended up happening is sometimes I would crash out. I would crash out and be so angry and frustrated at God. Sometimes I would literally find myself before bed doing my nighttime routine after reading Isha, and I would then make my dua, and in my dua I would obviously suddenly get so depressed and so tearful and just start crying and heaving and begging, and then I would pack up my prayer mat, and as I'm changing into my night clothes, as I'm getting into my bed, I'm like, please God, just talk to me. Give me a sign. I need you to come down and literally talk to me and say something. I need to hear something from your mouth. I need to hear your words. I don't want to read it anywhere. I don't want to see it anywhere. I need you directly to come to me and speak to me. And sometimes you really, really, really want that and crave that. And not gonna lie, that was me last night too. but we're not gonna talk about last night. I'm here to say that I've had many nights like that, right? Where you're just sitting there and you're like, I need you directly, the creator of the heavens and the earth, to come talk to me because I need you that bad. And I know I'm not the perfect version that you want me to be, and I'm not this perfect, amazing Muslim that I am. I'm no prophet, I understand that, but I need you to talk to me and come to me and help me and give me something. I need you to tell me what I need to hear right now, because I'm not getting it from anything. I'm not finding solace in anything or anyone, right? And I was going through that for months and days on end, and through that I applied to 1,000 jobs. Through that I went through universal credit and then FedCap, meeting after meeting after meeting after appointment throughout the summer and then autumn and then winter, and then I applied for so many different courses. I went from law to then applying for apprenticeships to then marketing apprenticeships to then I went into science, and then from science I went on to what I'm doing now, which is Alhamdulillah business management and marketing. I went through so many stages and so many different things. There came a point in my life where I was like, what is it? What is it that I'm doing wrong? I'm not being patient enough. What, my patience isn't happy-go-lucky? Like, I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I give up. I told God directly, I said, I give up. I don't want to live anymore. I've given up. I've given up on everything. I've given up on myself, on you, I can't take it anymore. Saying that and feeling that way, I still got up to pray, and I still got up to do wuzu. I still got up to brush my teeth. I still went on my walks. Yeah, I still lived every day. Fast forward to about 3 days ago, and I had come home from work or something, and I'm getting ready for bed, and I'm like, how the hell did I even get here? Like, how did I even get to this point? I mean, looking back, I wasn't this picture perfect patience. I wasn't wearing, oh, by the way, I took off my hijab. I went through the worst mental health of my life. I basically lost a lot of faith, but I didn't lose hope, right? Remember that, I didn't lose hope. So looking back, and I was just lying in bed, and I was like, what did I do? What did I do that God was so merciful and so gracious and so kind to me that He answered my du'as eventually? Yeah, He gave me the two things I was basically in need for. Like he gave me a sign and He gave me a way out from this test. What did I do? What did I do? And looking back, I was like, I didn't do anything crazy. Like, I didn't isolate myself and do istighfar the whole night. I didn't do anything crazy in Ramadan. I didn't do anything amazing or so great. Like, I didn't memorize the Quran. Like, I didn't do anything. What was it? What was my patience? Because when people tell you you're going through a test, the number one thing they say is patience, right? Be patient and do this and be kind and keep being you and don't give up. And I was like, but I did give up though. From my memory and my recollection, I did give up. Did I not? Like, I did give up because I was hurting so much. I couldn't keep going. Like, I literally felt like life was hanging on by like this tiny little thread here. That's what my hope was. This tiny one piece of thread. That's what my hope was, and that's what my faith was. I had lost everything in myself, in my mental health, in my physical health, in my emotional health, everything. Yeah, I was the worst version of myself I could possibly be. Like, I feel like I'm yearning for somebody to understand that. I'm yearning to find a way to intellectualize it into words for somebody to understand how I felt through that phase of my life, but I can't, so it's okay. But it was a lot. And so anyways, looking back, I'm like, what did I do? And then I clocked, which is why I'm making this episode, because I clocked and I was like, what did my patience look like? My patience looked like exactly what I went through. It looked like what I did. What was my patience? My patience was me waking up for Fajr every day and reading Tahajjud and crying in my prayer. My patience was me, Fifi. Anyways, I was like, oh, what does my patience look like? What does my patience look like? Let's look back and see. My patience was not picture perfect. My patience was me crying, having a mental breakdown, feeling the 5 stages of grief, literally feeling grief, anger, frustration, pain, arguments, tiredness, exhaustion, frustration. My patience was me crying myself to sleep. My patience was me crying on the bus. My patience was me waking up every day and brushing my teeth. My patience was me eating even when I didn't want to. My patience was me trying different things when I didn't want to. My patience was me praying and talking to God and making dua every night. That was my patience. Waking for tahajjud istikhara. My patience was me doing istighfar even when I didn't feel like it. My patience was me doing zikr and tasbih and reading Quran and attempting to learn the Quran. My patience was me doing all of these things. That was my patience. And it doesn't have to be pretty. Patience does not have to be beautiful. Patience does not need to look a certain way or be a certain way. Patience does not have to feel like it doesn't have to feel good. Patience is gonna hurt. Patience is gonna sting. It's gonna make you wanna cry. It's gonna feel like you're bleeding out and there's nobody to stop you. You know what I mean? And you're waiting for the stitches to heal. Patience is literally going to feel like you sprained your ankle, but you just got a job, or you have to run a marathon in 2 weeks, but you have to wait for the freaking ankle to heal, and you're waiting for it to heal, but it's taking its flipping time because it's going to heal when it wants to heal. And you cannot hurry up that ankle. You cannot fasten that ankle even if you wanted to. Patience was me going or feeling absolutely horrible, feeling like a shit Muslim. Patience was me waking. Okay, so patience and hope are hand in hand. They are like siblings. Okay, you cannot have one without the other, and you cannot be one without the other. Yeah, you cannot be patient without being hopeful, and you cannot be hopeful without being patient. And that's what I realized happened to me. Even if it felt like I had lost all my patience, I had lost all my faith, I still prayed. All those prayers probably mean something and probably hold a lot of value. I was in so much pain that I constantly felt like hurting myself, But all the times that I didn't hurt myself and didn't act upon those bad intentions and wanting to like destroy myself and hurt myself, that was also patience and hope. There were times where I was like, I should just give up. I should just give up and walk away right now. What is stopping me from giving up? Patience, that was what was stopping me. Every time I felt like giving up and this is it, this is the end, and I would crash right down, I was like, oh, but like, there's something inside of me. There's this 1%, this 1% inside of me, 0.00001% that is telling me that maybe I wake up tomorrow and tomorrow is the day. Maybe in 6 months, I can look back and be like, you know what, it happened. So be it. Let's just never speak of it again. You know, maybe tomorrow is the day that God gives me the one thing that I've been praying for. Maybe I get my sign tomorrow. Maybe I'm one step closer. Each day that I wake up, I will be one step closer to where I finally belong and where I finally need to go into my ease. Yeah, maybe. Just that one tiny, tiny maybe. And I did. Every day I woke up, that maybe kept me going. That 0.001%, it kept me going. When I was taking my walks across the bridge, when I was going around laps around the park and I was crying my eyes out and being so frustrated with God and just saying, why can't you come down and talk to me? Why can't you just give me the one thing that I want? What is it? I've tried everything in the book. I've tried everything that people are telling me to do, that you have told me to do, that every podcast I listen to is trying to tell me to do. What is your problem? Why are you not giving me what I want? How much more patient can I be? Like, what is this patience? And why am I so bad at it? But I wasn't. Me living every day and waking up and accepting the fact that God woke me up from this literal bed every day for the whole year and a half, that was patience. Me praying even though I didn't want to pray, that was patience. Patience is not something that is beautiful. Patience is not something that is pretty and that is kind to you, and that is something that is so like you know what I mean? Patience is not picture perfect, and it is not how they are going to describe it on TikTok and how they describe it to you, how your mom and dad describe it to you when you want £5 from them. Then they're like, wait, inshallah, we will see if you can go or not go out with your friends on Thursday. Patience is so hurtful and so painful and so brittling and so abusing and so harmful to you, but the way that you walk out 10,000 times stronger, the way that you walk out being that version of yourself, knowing what you went through back here and you're now here, and you can look back and be like, damn, holy shit, that patience was insane, but the reward looking forward was so worth it. It was so worth it. And because all of that happened whilst I was being patient, just by living and being me and not giving up, and I'm hoping you can't hear those sirens right now, but I live in the ghetto, so let's ignore that. Just by me being me and being alive and not giving up on God himself, yeah, even if I said it 1,000 times, even if I did it 1,000 times, I got back up again. Yeah, that was what patience is. Patience is so scary and it is so painful, and nobody says how painful patience is. Nobody talks about it. People just refuse to talk about how painful patience is, yeah. But I think it's the reward that you get after being patient is why the phrase patience is beautiful comes from. You know what I mean? That's the phrase, right? People say that patience is beautiful. There's beauty in patience. Or is it? What is the saying? There's a saying that goes something like that, right? I'm not crazy. People say, oh, there is beauty in patience. Like, patience is such a beautiful thing to master, right? It is not. It is hurtful and it is abusive. Okay, this world is a cruel, cruel place. It will hurt you. You will hurt yourself. The tests and the trials will be so painful to you, but the way you walk out from it and the reward that you get from it and the aftermath, that ease is what is beautiful. That ease leading up, the patience leading up to the ease is what makes it beautiful, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Am I crazy? All in all, to say, yeah, that girl that went through two of the most, like, basically three of the, no, 2022 to 2025 is what? 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, basically the three years of her most treacherous, horrible time of her life that she's had yet, yeah. Even though she's had many, many, many before, and she will have many, many, many again, right? For all the things that she wants in this life, right? All of that was worth it in the end. All of that, everything that she went through was patience. This is your reminder, okay? And this is the reminder to myself first, that the next time you find yourself in need of being patient, whether it's your theory test that you need to pass, getting a car, getting into school, getting whatever, the next time you find yourself in need of being patient, remember what patience looks like on you, and do not be discouraged by it, do not be embarrassed by it, and do not feel hopeless by it. Because humans are so unique in the way that they are created, that everybody is so different but also so alike at the same time. We are all human, but my patience will not look like somebody's patience next door, because that person might be so good at being patient, but I am not good at being patient. My patience is going to be ugly, and it's going to be tough, and it's going to be hard, because maybe it's something that I haven't mastered that skill yet, or maybe God just wants me to wait for 5 years before I get the thing that I want. Then so be it. But the next time you find yourself having to be patient metered, remember what patience looks like on you. And it is the tears, and it is the crying, and it is the heartbreak, and it is the waiting, and it is the torment, and it is the isolation. But those are not bad things. You throwing your phone across the room because you're so frustrated, that's patience. You walking around with your sister while she gets to shop and you don't get to shop because you have no money for the past 3 years and you haven't bought yourself anything nice in so long, that's patience. Wanting to know what to do with your future career, but trying so many different things and then dropping out from them or leaving that course behind because you didn't feel it was right for you, that was patience. That was patience. Patience is such a complex skill to master, and maybe we just haven't gotten there yet. But even if our patience looks like this for the rest of our lives, so be it, because in the end, God is graceful enough to give us those things that we want, to give us the things that we want in the end, to give us the success at the end, the ease at the end. Verily, with hardship comes ease. You know what I mean? Oh, those of you who believe, seek help through patience and prayer. Prayer is easy. You pray, you get up, you do wuzu, and you pray. Patience is a lifetime skill. Patience is a mental flipping thing that you need to learn. I feel like patience is like something they teach you in when you're in flipping Kung Fu Panda. You know what I mean? Skill that is so hard to learn. But remember, if you're in need of being patient right now and you're crying, throwing up, and you're upset and you're angry and you're annoyed and you feel like you can't take it anymore, you know, you're just going through it, that is patience. That is patience, okay? You cannot, I just don't want you to think that patience is something that is so pretty and so easy. It is such a hard thing in this life, just like everything else in this life. But it is not a physical thing on its own, it's a mental thing as well. So the next time you need to be patient and you find yourself in a place in your life where you have to conquer patience and find it again, and you have to go through all of that again, remember those years that you went through before. And remember that story of the girl that I told you, and remember the story of the man who lost his wife, who went through the hardest hardships he could ever possibly go through at that time, and he thought God hated him, and instead he brought down a whole surah just to tell him how much he is listening, how much he is there, and how much he is aware, and how much he loves you, and he hasn't left you alone. God doesn't leave you alone. Patience is a test in itself. It's weird because when you are being tested, you have to be patient. But being patient is a test in itself. So you have to kind of learn to be patient, and then you have to be patient once you've learned how to do that whilst you're going through the test. Does that make sense? And it's a whole whirlwind. But once you are not so harsh on yourself and don't have any high expectations on yourself to be a flipping scholar or be a imam or a mufti level of patience and, like, you know, zen and this and that. No, you're a human being. You're a 21-year-old girl. You're a 19-year-old girl, yeah, who doesn't know what she's doing with her life, who doesn't have any moral support or emotional support or any friendship support or anything like that. You're going through life alone. You're going through tests alone, and that makes it more special, but it also makes it 20,000 times more harder, okay? You're only 21. You're not perfect. People put on the hijab, they take off the hijab. People pray Fajr and then they stop praying Fajr. People read zikr every day and then they stop for 6 months. Life is not linear. Patience is not concrete. It is not something that you should make so difficult upon yourself. Don't dwell on the fact that you think that you're not being patient enough, because you being here watching this video, you waking up every day and hoping that today's the day or tomorrow will be the day, or then by the time you turn 22 you will have the thing that you want. That is patience. Patience is hope. Hope is patience. You know what I mean? I hope all of this made sense, and I think I said everything that I wanted to say, and I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of this podcast. I rambled on for quite a bit. I don't want to make these episodes too long because I feel like then it gets kind of boring to watch, and also I have a tendency to repeat myself a lot. Like, strangely enough, a lot. I probably said patience is hope and hope is patience 20,000 times. But yeah, just remember that every day you wake up, that is patience. Every day you put your trust in God to go to sleep and that He will breathe in you again and you wake up the next day, that is patience, bro. That is patience. You know what I mean? You applying to jobs and waiting to hear back from them, that's patience. You waking up every day to read Fajr and Tahajjud, that's patience. You reading Isha, that's patience. You doing Salatul Istighfar and Salatul Tawbah and doing 10k Istighfar every day, patience, babe. That's patience. That's patience. Just knowing and understanding that you, a normal human being, a normal 21-year-old guy living in his parents' house, or a 21-year-old girl going to uni, you do not have to be perfect to be patient. You do not have to perfect patience. Patience is unique to you. It is you it can be you breaking dishes, it can be you crying your heart out. It's not you concealing your emotions and not letting yourself feel because you feel guilty about how you're not going to be a good enough Muslim or how you are not a good enough Muslim. Because I truly believe that God is such an understanding God, and for a long time I wondered why is He all these names but He's not understanding. You know what I mean? I truly believe that God is so understanding and He knows you. He knows you inside and out. He created you, so He knows you inside and out. He's like your mom and dad, but like 10,000 times more deeper and more meaningful, because He knows you literally from your skeleton to your soul. From the inside out, He knows you. He created you, so He understands that you cannot be smiling when you're trying to be patient, that you cannot be calm and not cry when you're being patient, that you're gonna get sad and you're gonna get frustrated and you're gonna be annoyed sometimes because you're gonna scroll on TikTok and see that the thing that you've been praying for the past 5 years, somebody already has had it their whole life. You know what I mean? He's gonna know that and He's gonna be okay with it and He's gonna be kind to you anyways. He's gonna know that you didn't want to wake up for Fajr but you did it anyways because you want to show Him that you care and you still have hope and that you're patient. Because that's what patience looks like on you, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with patience looking so human like, looking so normal like. That's normality. You don't need to be this perfect picture perfect Muslim. You don't need to achieve all these things and do all these things. You just need to be you, and you need to take the steps that you want to take and do the things that you can do in the capacity that you have, and accept it. There's nothing wrong with that. Because for me, for that girl that went through those 3 years of pain and torture, from dropping out to going course to course to not getting a job, through going through universal credit, through crying every night, to having absolutely no friends, no moral support, no nothing, to going on her zikr walks, that was her being patient. Her patience was not giving up. Her patience was showing up every day. You waking up every day, that is patience. You showing up even when you don't want to, that was patience for her. She was patient. I look back now and I'm like, what did I do? All of that was me. I waited. I didn't give up. I didn't rush into something. I didn't pick another course and stick with it and just go back to university after a 2-week break. I didn't do that because I knew God would give me something if I just waited a little bit more, took a little bit more time. Yes, I got angry. Yes, I cried. Yes, I threw up. Yes, I did all these things, but I still woke up the next day. I still prayed and I still had hope. Patience is hope. Hope is patience. And that is all I have to say for today's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed this new series. I'm going to try and bring it back. I'm going to try and do it better. I hope the quality is okay. Oh gosh. And my mic was on and the quality was okay. Let me know what you want me to talk about in these episodes. And because I have a whole list, I have a whole bunch of things that I can discuss and make episodes on. I hope you guys really liked this first episode. It's nice being back on YouTube, guys. I missed you guys. I miss filming like this. I miss rambling. I miss talking. But yeah, just remember to be kind to yourself when you are in need of being patient, and that your patience is unique to you, and it is not shameful, and it is not bad. It's not being a bad Muslim, it's not being a horrible Muslim, it's not being useless or slow, or you're not doing it right. You are. It's okay. God understands. He sees you. He knows you're not that type of person. He knows you can't reach that level of perfection. He doesn't expect it from you. He just expects you to wake up every day, be yourself, not give up, and that's it. That's all I gotta say, because that worked for me, and I hope it can work for you too, is not being so harsh on yourself. And I'm not saying don't do anything completely, like I'm not saying don't do nothing and you will get what you want. No, like keep going, because I do believe all the istighfar I did, all the praise I did, all the hope that I had, it led up to something for a reason. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hope this makes sense, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Tatas!